We have got cars coming into the staging lanes. You start to hear that rumble from the pits. And, of course, you're going to have the opportunity to go by and take pictures, meet the crews and the drivers, as every ticket is a pit pass here at Mo-Kan Dragway, and we are just about ready to go qualifying for the funny cars at 7 p.m. And we do have Dirty South Gassers leading us off, as there's a bevy of cars from all across the country that have made their way for this event. Ever since that very first race in 2018 with Funny Car Chaos at Mo-Kan Dragway, it's been one of those places on the schedule that the Dirty South Gassers and their cousins over in the Southern Outlaw Gassers like to come to. It is a big gathering, a super get-together, and you're going to get a chance to see why most of us get so excited with Dirty South Gassers on the dance card. We're going to bring them up here in just a few moments, as they will be the beginning of an all-pro show here on Friday night at Mo-Kan Dragway. Once again, welcome to all of you here at Mo-Kan Dragway as we are kicking things off with our 59th annual Labor Day Weekend Classic. Not only have we got a show for you who are here in person, but we want to send a word of welcome out to all of you watching on the live stream as we are back on the air with our worldwide audience of Chaos fans. We're going to give you a chance to start it off right with a smoke show from a pair of Dirty South Gassers, the A Factory experimental machines, coming your way from Texas and from Missouri. Brad Thompson on the tower side of the racetrack absolutely fogs in the tower here on the O'Reilly Auto Parts side of the racetrack in that Fire Engine 2 1966 Pontiac Tempest with a 455 cubic inch Pontiac power plant out of Tommy Gun Speed Shop and Beat the Heat. He's going to be taking on that bad to the bone Mopar, Clay Kossuth out of Catawissa, Missouri, 65 Dodge Coronet. The Victory Performance Parts, Mancini, A&A Transport of Indy. Max Attack 2 up and ready to take green light, and there they go. Wheels up, launch for the Pontiac, but the Max Attack takes it through the 8th mile at 116 miles an hour in 5.88 seconds. A 638 left side for the Fire Engine 2, 107.9 miles an hour. What a way to kick things off with Dirty South Gassers. The Super Stock Factory experimental cars leading us off. Tom Butheris is going to be coming up next. On the tower side of the racetrack in the O'Reilly Auto Parts lane, that Rude Rat out of Wichita, Kansas, 396 cubic inches of big block bow tie under the hood. Going to take on that good-looking white and red 56 Chevy. That is Bud DeWolf. The big bad Bud is over the pit side of the racetrack. Flash of amber, green lights on. Oh, something goes away on the 56, and the Rude Rat says, "See ya. I am out of here." 595, 107 miles an hour on the left side. Bud DeWolf shuts it off, gets back on the throttle, and didn't exactly slow walking down the racetrack, but he did have a little trouble out there just past the 60-foot. Tyler Johnson from Seward, Nebraska, 1953 Chevy on the tower side of the racetrack, and the Squirrel. Rodney Potter out of Wayland, New York, 1941 Ford two-door sedan with a 410 cubic inch blue oval power plant out of Shade Tree Racing. Going Chevy versus Ford with the front ends hiked up on these old style gassers. And it looks like the Ford is going to get the better of the Chevrolet that time. 685 at 95.7 miles an hour. to Tyler Johnson's 755 at 90.6 miles an hour. The Tinkerman, Jason Calloway from Jefferson, Texas, 1964 Ford Falcon on the tower side of the racetrack. Going to take on Darwin McCollum from Auburn, Nebraska, 1949 Crosley Wagon. 409 cubic inches, a small block Chevy power plant. Got that quick flash of a 4/10 Pro Tree, and there they go. A starting line advantage on the left side, just about a tenth. And it's going to be enough to get into the finish line first. 672 for Tinkerman beats a 699 for McCollum. Dirty South Gassers bringing the smoke show, bringing the wheels up action. Some of the coolest old hot rods anywhere in captivity, and they are here to put on a show for you at Mo-Kan Dragway and across the country and around the world, actually, on the live stream. And we want to say thank you to Mile High Crankshafts of Denver, Colorado, for stepping up and becoming our official live stream partner for the championship finals at Mo-Kan Dragway. At the starting line, Joey Phelps from Bodart, Missouri, 1962 Chevy 2 with a 427 cubic inch big block, taking on the pickup of Bob Brown out of Topeka, Kansas. 408 cubic inch small block Chevy power plant under the hood of that 39 Willys pickup. Man, look at him go! Down that right side, Redemption Motorsports lane, Bob Brown goes 567, 121 plus miles an hour to take the win like Joey Phelps. No slouch right there either, 593, 117 on the left side. Just a little too much pickup. Hobart Amwell from Midlothian, Texas, 1950 model Plymouth Business Coupe with a Hemi power plant on the tower side of the racetrack, taking on that big block Ford powered 39 Ford Coupe out of Anderson, Texas. That's going to be Daniel Cross. Green lights on both sides of the racetrack and a good looking pair down the racetrack. Left side coming on, not quite enough real estate to overcome that starting line advantage. The 751 for Daniel Cross at 90 miles an hour takes out a faster 760 at 94.0 miles an hour in the Plymouth. Johnny Reb coming your way in the 50 model Chevy out of Pinson, Alabama. The Mathis Carb Special is on the O'Reilly Auto Parts side of the racetrack, taking on that Cheetah Ken Rayleigh, Lenexa, Kansas, 1963 Chevy 2. Big inch bow tie under the hood, 496 cubic inches. So, Cheetah 2 and Johnny Reb up next at the starting line. Don't forget, race fans, be sure and get yourself signed up for a ride of a lifetime with the Proud American Motorsports team. They will be taking you for a ride in a hurry down this 8-mile racetrack at Mo-Kan Dragway. Tower side, Johnny Reb turns on the win light. He gets a starting line advantage and extends it at the finish line, a 662 to a 699, 101.95 miles an hour, and a win light for Johnny Reb. John Clark from Wichita, Kansas, 1963 Chevy 2 on the tower side of the racetrack. The Clark Speed Special is taking on David Tanner and just about everybody's favorite gasser, 1932 Chevy Coupe, the trained outhouse mouse. I say trained outhouse mouse because David Tanner can make this thing set on the back bumper at will. He's always a good one to get your camera out for those Kodak moments. The outhouse mouse takes that right side, pit side, Redemption Motorsports lane, Kohler Street Auto Body. His business, got a 406 cubic inch small block Chevy with a 671 supercharger on the top of it. The Clark Speed Special and the outhouse mouse. Ready to put on a show for you here on Friday night on the live stream, thanks to Mile High Crankshafts. Welcome, all of you watching. Wheels up both sides of the racetrack, and the outhouse mouse appears to be pulling away, does get the win light. 617, 110 miles an hour to John Clark's 650 at 107.5 miles an hour as they make their way towards the exits in the shutdown area. We have got more of these wild and crazy Dirty South gassers in the house. Alan Paget, Georgiana, Alabama, 1950 Georgiana, Alabama, 1950 model Chevy takes the O'Reilly side of the racetrack, and the Ranchi Ranchero, goes red. Tony Incardona. Don't see that very often, but he gives it away at the starting line, so the win light flashes in the O'Reilly Auto Parts lane for Alan Paget, 656, 101.8 miles an hour to Incardona, 677, 101 miles an hour. All right, doesn't get too much cooler than this. Bubba Marshall from North Zulch, Texas, with the big, sexy 56 Chevy on the tower side of the racetrack. And the Nova Dose, Shelby Berard from down in Louisiana brings that familiar black Nova Dose machine up. Should be a good match right here, as these two love squaring off on the racetrack. They especially love doing it at Mo-Kan Dragway. Dirty South Gassers, their first time down the racetrack of the weekend, leading off our Friday night All-Pro show. Green lights both sides. There they go. A little starting line advantage on the right side, and the Nova Dose, off the throttle as he began to feel something go wrong out there. And Big Sexy out of North Zulch, Texas, stops the clocks with a 7:10 and gets to the finish line first. Shelby Berard down that racetrack in 7.49 seconds, but it typically goes a lot faster than that, but you could see the car nose over as he had to get out of the throttle on that run down the racetrack. The instigator, John Waltz from Louisville, Kentucky, 1955 Chevy 210. Over on the pit side of the racetrack in the Redemption Motorsports lane, taking on the Savage 6 in the O'Reilly Auto Parts lane. That is Doug Manchester from Houston, Texas, the 1940 model Chevy. He's got that inline 6. You'll notice that different sound of that 6-cylinder power plant, but it's plenty quick, plenty fast. Don't want to go to sleep on that one. He's won a lot of races in Dirty South Gassers competition. Let's see what he's got against the 55. Flash of amber. Manchester goes first, but look at the instigator. Heads on down to the finish line with a 7:02 ET, a 96.7 mile per hour run. Manchester Savage 6, a 790, 84.75 miles an hour. Man, if you like to see the car smoking the tires and just filling that starting line area up with tire smoke, we got it for you. Here on Friday night, we are soon to be under the lights as the sun is going down in the west, and we are getting ready to turn those lights on as we are turning the heat up. Fun is fun. Leland Harmon, all the way from Falls City, Nebraska, with his beautiful 1956 Chevy on the tower side of the racetrack in the O'Reilly lane. Lines up with Bob Langner from St. Joe, Missouri, 1955 Chevy over there. Two examples of the Tri-5s. At the starting line right now, 489 cubic inches of bow tie power plant over on the right side, and a 400 cubic inch small block Chevy on the left side, with support from Jade Orange Body and Hot Rod Shop. Give it to the tower side. Fun's fun, and it's always more fun when you're winning. And Leland goes across the finish line first, overcomes the starting line advantage, and goes out the back door for the win. A 6.96 at 97.9 miles an hour takes out Bob Langner's 7.16 at 96.1 miles an hour. Another good-looking pair of hot rods coming your way. 55 Chevy out of Joplin, Missouri. Marty Danner on your tower side of the racetrack. Got Nitro data on the right side of the racetrack in that Redemption Motorsports lane. Marty gets across the finish line first. 6.90 at 97 miles an hour. And a 7.75 for Needmo at 85. Yes, indeed. Griff Griffin from Billings, Missouri, 1961 Ford Ranchero with a big block Chevy power plant underneath that hood. Griff's Cam Shop brings the car out, always likes to do the, whether he's in recycle or whether he's in this one, Griff is always the king of the show, man. He looks like he's going to go solo down that Redemption Motorsports side of the racetrack as we kick things off on our 59th annual Labor Day Weekend Classic. The dry hop coming to the starting line for Griff Griffin. Rolls constantly in the stage position. Big flashes over. He's got a green light, and he's picking them up, laying them down in a hurry down that right side. 543, 126 plus miles an hour. Good run down that right side. Redemption Motorsports lane. And we keep having the Dirty South Gassers down the racetrack, and I look at the staging lanes, and there's still a bunch more out there, which always makes me smile. Talk about a great crowd here at Mo-Kan Dragway and a great card to draw to. That would be your Mo-Kan Dragway Dirty South Gassers. Alvin Griffin, 1965 Comet, calls it my 401k, out of Butler, Missouri. 74 years old, got involved with drag racing 3 years ago with his brother. Brings that 1965 Mercury Comet up for a solo shot down that right side Redemption Motorsports lane. Mercury Comet inching towards those infrared beams on the Redemption side of the racetrack. Friday night, Dirty South Gassers. Tire smoke on that one as he goes down the racetrack and decides to save a little for later. So he'll ease it across the finish line. Don't forget, race fans. We got funny car qualifying coming up at 7 p.m. At the tail end of this first qualifier, it will be your Great 8 shootout, race within a race. All right, you could tell by the burnouts and the sound of the cars that this should be a good pairing right here. Jim Anderson, Chelsea, Oklahoma, 66 Chevy Nova, tower side of the racetrack. Taking on the Okie Twister 2 Henry J. That is none other than Hooley Huffman out of Wagoner, Oklahoma, the 1951 Henry J. Hooley says the engine in this one is for sale. Take a look, take a listen as they line up, getting set to square off here on the first time down the racetrack. Wheels up, launch on the Chevy Nova, and he begins to go towards that wall, so has to gather it up, and that gives Hooley Huffman just the opportunity he needed to get to the finish line first. Hooley goes 595 at 112.34 miles an hour to take the win. 663 after getting a little out of shape for Jim Anderson, 102.41 miles an hour. Next up, the Prospector. Jim Marsh out of Odessa, Texas, 1951 Studebaker with a small block Chevy power plant. Lines up on the pit side of the racetrack in the Redemption Motorsports lane. He's going to take on David Hudson from Iowa Park, Texas, near Wichita Falls. There on Highway 287, 1937 Chevy Coupe with a 383 engine under the hood. Dirty South Gassers kicking us off on a great weekend of drag racing with over 32 funny cars in the house, 34 at last count. We'll qualify 32 of them. Prospector with a premature launch is going to give the win light on the O'Reilly Auto Parts side to David Hudson. So Jim Marsh's car went ahead and left a little too early, does not record a time. David Hudson, 661, 102.8 miles an hour. Jim Koontz, Waukee, Iowa, over on the pit side of the racetrack in the 48 Anglia, that small block Chevy powered machine. Going to line up next to James Collins out of Seymour, Missouri, this good-looking live bullet. 1963 Ford Fairlane 500. Attention in the pits. Funny cars to staging for your first qualifier. Funny cars to the lanes, please, for your first qualifier. Live bullet on the tower side. You see that car number, 50 cal. Carries a double meaning, doesn't it? 608 with a 110.19 miles an hour. And Jim Coons with the Anglia goes 735 at 95.1 miles an hour. Kevin Lowry brings the K&J Chassis Dragster up for a run down the O'Reilly Auto Parts side of the racetrack. From right here in Joplin, Missouri, the K&J Chassis Tradition over Trend machine. Small block Chevy power. Looks like something from long ago, but it was built in 2018. Keep your eye on this one. A lot of times those front wheels are way up in the air. This time not so much, as he keeps it on the ground. That keeps it away from the guardrail as well. And I love the tow vehicle going down to after the dragster. Looking good. Hey, funny cars looking for you in the staging lanes on the push road as we are just about ready to get our funny cars down the racetrack. You see the heavy equipment come out for the first round of qualifying. Funny cars to the push road. Funny cars to the push road, please. Good to see you, Martin. Happy to have you here, and all of our photographers documenting this championship finals for the 6th time. Had the first championship finals back in 2019. We'll probably talk some about that as the weekend goes on, but this event very well may be the best ever. It is certainly the tightest, the closest that there has ever been in the history of Funny Car Chaos. And we will have funny cars coming your way right after some track preparations. And once we get the cars on the push road, don't forget the final 4 pair will be part of that race within a race. That is your Grade 8 shootout presented by Hoffman Masonry, Spell Paving, and Evergreen Lawn Care. For over 40 years, Mile High Crankshafts, located in Denver, Colorado, has provided the highest quality crankshaft repair and modification services available, and they serve all forms of motorsports competition. Whether you need a precision grind or repair from a catastrophic failure, Mile High Crankshafts understands the attention to detail required to have their work accepted and respected by the industry's best high-performance engine builders. Just ask Bill Bernard, multiple-time Funny Car Chaos event winner in the Grinder Funny Car. They're easy to reach with a presence on Facebook, on the web at www.milehighcranks.com, or just go old school and call them on the telephone, 303-781-6764. Be sure to thank them for their support of the live stream of the Funny Car Chaos Championship Finals. Such a pleasure to be back on the air with the live stream. Be sure and let the official live stream partner of the championship finals at Mo-Kan Dragway know how much you appreciate that, of course, Mile High Crankshafts of Denver, Colorado. Twisted Shifters is an official product sponsor of the Funny Car Chaos Championship Tour. And they've got the largest selection of custom made in America shift knobs available anywhere. Their vast inventory includes thousands of custom shift knobs for a wide variety of vehicles, both new and old, for hot rods to late model muscle cars. You can add names, logos, numbers, and more to create the perfect shift knob for you and your application. They have options for threaded and non-threaded shifters and can even provide a variety of shifter adapters so you can use their custom shift knobs on just about any vehicle, including your big rig. Check out their custom canes and drink holders as well. www.twistedshifters.com is the website. They are your official title sponsor for the championship finals. Located at Illinois Route 84 in Fulton, Illinois. You can call them at 815-589-4484. Be sure and let them know how much you appreciate their support of the championship finals at Funny Car Chaos. Hey, funny cars, listen up. Listen up in the pits for funny cars. Hold up on coming to the staging lanes. We have got some sprinkles up here near the starting line. So we want to get you to hold up for just a little bit. We are hoping that after about 10 minutes, we'll be able to have you come on down. But for the moment, funny cars, let's back off of that plan to come to the staging lanes. We'll give you a call and let you know in about 10 minutes what we choose to do. Right now, do not bring funny cars to the staging lanes, please. We are on hold here for just a few moments. Well, race fans, probably not news to you that there are a few sprinkles out there near the starting line, so we are hanging on here for just a moment, hoping that we will be able to bring our funny cars up here in a little bit, but we do have them on hold for the moment. As even if it's a tiny bit of a sprinkle, that's too much water on the racetrack for qualifying to take place, for racing to take place. So we want to make sure that we are good to go. We've got the tractor out there applying the broom and the drag action out there to help make sure that as long as it's a light sprinkle and it stops, that we would be ready to go as quickly as we possibly can. However, for the moment, we are giving it the old wait and see. As certainly some dark gray clouds up there replaced some of that beautiful blue sky we had a little bit earlier. But we are very much hopeful that the liquid sunshine will stay up in the sky and we'll be able to go racing here in just a little bit. Racers, as you make your way around the property this weekend, occasionally you're going to see a banner from Larice Motorsports Insurance. The Larice family bringing you the finest in insurance coverage for your race car, for your motorhome, for your trailer, for your transport, all those parts and tools that are part of your racing operation. We all know you have to go down the racetrack with liability insurance coverage, and it's probably a great idea to have collision coverage as well, but all that stuff inside the trailer, including your race car, not covered by those items. It is a hefty investment that you have had to make in having a racing operation, and we know that you would like to have those assets covered. That's what Larice Motorsports Insurance is all about. We mentioned the banners. On the banners, there is a QR code that you can point that smart device at. It'll take you right to the website. You can put in a little bit of information, and they will get the process started for you having a quote to protect your hard-earned assets. And if you don't see the banner and or aren't familiar with QR codes, you could also do this. You could simply pull up that text. We all know how to text. And you can put the word classic in and send that text to 817-812-3196. If you will put that in, put the word classic, as in Labor Day weekend classic, text that to 817-812-3196. They will have a number to reach out to you. If you'll put your name on there, that would be helpful, and they will be happy to get back in touch with you so that you can find out just how important it is to have your assets protected and how well Larice Motorsports Insurance can protect you and your prized possessions. Again, 817-812-3196. Text the word classic. That way, Larice Motorsports can reach out to you and help you with that very important decision. So the Dirty South Gassers have made their first runs down the racetrack, put on a great show with a lot of tire smoke, a lot of wheels-up action, and some very close competition. Fantastic performances, as always, from our Dirty South Gasser competitors. Our funny cars are on hold at the moment, but hopefully we are just about to be able to let them know, and we will give them the unequivocal word to come to the staging lanes when we have that decision. Right now we're in a little bit of a holding pattern, and we are very much hoping that we'll be able to go qualifying here in just a little bit. Hey, every ticket is a pit pass, and we want to invite you to check out something specifically out there. When you go by, and you'll see the funny car of Mike Newkirk. They are representing the